morning, class. Good morning, class.
Good morning.
Afternoon, you're right, okay. Welcome to Advanced Conventionomics. I am Professor Kitty, and this is my assistant, Professor Milburn. First lesson, don't let an idiot play with your carefully designed PowerPoint presentation. Professor Milburn, you do know smoking is bad for you, right?
This isn't a cigarette, it's a lollipop. I was assaulted by some old 4Kids executives backstage.
Sorry. Well, you look good.
Thank you, I always do. And you know what? I am glad to see so many people here today. Because you are the future of conventions.
Them.
Them are the future of conventions.
You.
Me?
Them.
That's what I said.
Oh, God. Forget it.
Okay, fine. So, with that and what you will learn here today, I can expect great things from all of you and the generations to come.
I would like to start by welcoming all of you to AnimeUSA 2015. Woo! Celebrating its 17th year, this convention has become a mainstay on the East Coast convention circuit.
Yes, and for a successful convention, you need painstaking panels, prestigious guests, and a palatable plethora of activities poised and prepared to keep you perpetually partying all weekend long.
Yeah,
we
got that. I'd like to take a moment to introduce someone who you may not see much of during the course of the weekend, but if it wasn't for her, there wouldn't be much of a convention at all. Our Associate Dean of Student Services, otherwise known as the Vice Chairwoman of AnimeUSA 2015, Miss Ashley Hinn.
So glad to have you all here, and we'll be getting started by introducing the rest of our lovely guests, because who wants to see my face? I love all of you. Thank you so much for being here. It's Halloween weekend, and AnimeUSA. How much better could it get? Hope you all have a great weekend.
So before we get into the class today, let me explain what it's going to entail. Far too often you see new attendees and some longtime attendees walking around trying to figure out what exactly is going on in this huge conglomeration of programming known as an anime convention.
And with all the new anime titles and activities showing up at conventions, a lot of changes are hard to keep up with. Additionally, some new attendees don't know about the standard policies and procedures. We'll fix that too.
Hopefully this will be a very fun block of time and you'll enjoy it as much as you'll enjoy the rest of the weekend. Let's begin by finding out a little bit about you guys. How many of you are at your first convention?
It's nice. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But how many of you are at your second or third?
How many of you have been to 4 or more?
And like most graduate students, how many of you have been doing this for over 6 years?
We expect some extra participation from all of you.
Well, with that said, let's get on to our first subject, namely sociology, the scientific study of a social institution functioning as a whole and the collective behavior of organized groups. Or, in other words, meeting people.
Look around. You see all the people in here? And there are a lot more out there too. So, take a look next to you, to your left to be specific, or to your right if you're on an aisle. See that person next to you? Say hi to them. Hi. Good. See, even the guests are getting into it. This is good. Good, okay, see, now hi. As you can see, most of them are harmless.
Mostly.
Yes, mostly harmless.
Well, while you're at it, why don't you tell them what you're most looking forward to this weekend? Who knows? They might be looking forward to the same thing as you. Now, wouldn't that be cool?
Okay.
Anime Parliament.
What?
It's Anime Parliament. It's what I'm most looking forward to. In fact, it's happening this evening at 11 p.m. to 12:30 a.m. in Events B. I suggest you all show up.
Okay, well, let's get into some more material.
If you look in your registration bag, you'll have noticed that there was a textbook that will be used this weekend. The book highlights every little thing that is going to be going on over the next 3 days.
You've got the staff list, so you know who's who around the con. You've got event descriptions, panel descriptions, video descriptions, guest bios, dealer advertisements, convention advertisements, rules, regulations, and much, much more.
Nice job there, Skippy.
Oh, jeez. Sorry.
Yeah. So, with that said, let's actually look at our class schedule.
All of you who have been to conventions before are certain to recognize things like the masquerade, dances, karaoke, the music video contest, video game room, artist alley, and the financially draining dealer room.
Yes, but like many conventions, there are always some new and different events going on that are certainly worth mentioning, such as inside the voice actor studio. This panel has gone a long way toward making our attendees feel more comfortable around some of our high-profile guests that we often have, and by asking them the hard-hitting questions like, what is your favorite pizza topping? And what is your favorite ride to go on at Disney World?
While I have a second, I should take a moment to mention our legendary school cafeteria, the My Cup of Tea Made Cafe. For those of you who aren't familiar with AnimeUSA, we have an entire restaurant set aside so our students can sit down, enjoy a fun meal, and play some games in the company of our staff of maids, all of whom have graduated with honors from Moe Moe Tech. It's definitely a great way to relax when you've been running from class to class all day.
So, back to our schedule, we have a tea ceremony.
That class, of course, will count towards your chemistry degree.
The Chano Urasenke Tankokai DC Association will be giving a demonstration of the elegance and artistry of the Japanese tea ceremony. This is one of the many reasons that we have mentioned your program guide. It would take us a good hour to explain all of the smaller events that are going on, and that's not what they're paying us for.
They're not paying us for anything.
Yeah, precisely.
Next on our schedule, we have our cosplay burlesque show. Catering directly to our late night crowd, this group of professors?
Well, you have to learn this stuff somewhere, don't you?
All right, professors. All right. I think we'll just let their performance speak for itself. And on the creative side, Kyoko Okamoto is joining us this weekend for a special presentation focused on the history and technique of the koto. As we at Espeon University have always considered the fine arts to be of great importance, we encourage all of our students to take some time and enjoy this special presentation. All right, let's begin with our first pop quiz.
Pop quiz.
You're going to have to forgive my esteemed colleague over here. He is suffering from a rare and debilitating disease, Canadian birth.
Hey, watch what you say.
Anybody who might get offended, he is actually Canadian. He made up that
Hey,
joke.
you better watch it, Jehovah's. I know where you sleep at night, eh?
Anyhow, we'd like to bring up someone from our audience to help out. Any volunteers? I think that's a perfect selection right there. Come on up here, Pinky.
Hello there. So, what's your name?
I'm made Chisai.
And how long have you been going to conventions?
About 7 years?
That's why we can't have nice things.
And why are you single?
Yes.
So, can I have your number?
I'll give you a hint. It's over 9,000.
Well, fine! Damn, see if I can!
Okay. All right. So, thank you for that. Let's see, where am I? Oh, yes. This pop quiz is on the subject of science.
Science!
Right here, we have a simple chemical formula. Question number 1. What is this?
It's water.
Oh, congratulations. She's won the Blue's Clues. So can you give us some, examples of what it's used for?
Mainly for drinking.
Okay. Now, give me an example of when this should be used.
To shower.
Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. So let me clarify something here. I've been to a lot of conventions, and I've seen quite a few people that do their absolute best to avoid this substance at all cost, including what she just mentioned of showering. Now, regardless of what people might say, water will not hurt you. I am.
Thank you so much for your help, Maid Chisai. We would like to present you with this honorary diploma in recognition of your hard work.
Yeah. So, you know, that's a necessary start. But it's a start. So, let's actually get on with our lecture. School rules for punctuality and tardiness.
You will see along with your program guide the schedule. Now, it is in black and white, but that does not mean it is infallible. We try our best to start and end events on time, but it doesn't always work. There's a lot of preparation that goes into things like the masquerade, and I've rarely been to one that starts on time, though we've been doing well these past few years. Whether it be 30 seconds or 30 minutes late, if it's not on time, there is a reason.
And you know what? There's no use complaining, because you may as well just put the death note down right now. See, it's not going to make things go any faster. In fact, it just might very well cause more problems than you wanted to. So, you're going to stand on line. There's no easy pass. There is no fast lane, and bribery does not work.
Well, not always.
Well, how much are we talking here?
Well, let's get to the chart. Given market trends and present currency valuation, we can see here that the dollar is presently approaching a supply level relative to institutional trade. What am I doing? This is from my finance class.
What are you doing?
I don't know.
Get back on top.
Yeah, please,
Get back on top. There we go.
Thank you.
So, let me put it this way. Lines are a very good way to meet people. See, you know that whole human interaction thing again? And you remember that person to your left or that person to your right? They might be standing next to you on a line later on this weekend. You can exchange stories about how these two idiots up on stage subjected you to public ridicule. And they required you to introduce yourself to a complete stranger.
Worst things happen. And if that doesn't work, there's always the person to your right. But anyway, lines are evil organizational requirements, and there's not a person in this room, including us and the rest of the staff, that hasn't had to stand on them before.
So, you may also see some con safety members out there this weekend, trying to line people up. And you know what? They're not trying to be mean to you. They're just trying to ensure that the convention is a safe place. There was a convention recently whose attendees complained that, you know, the con safety staff was yelling at them. And looking back, the noise in the hall was pretty bad. It required the con safety to raise their voices above a normal level so everyone could hear them.
Yeah, I mean, nobody was being targeted directly, but when people don't listen, the staff sometimes has to rely on louder means. I mean, we're not condoning it. We're just bringing it up so you can help us prevent it. You are as important to this convention, if not more so, than we are. Your cooperation will make this convention even better than we planned it to be.
Okay then, so moving on from lines.
All right, now we should mention a little something about our featured music lesson.
Yes, we have a very special guest performer this weekend, and they will certainly teach you a thing or two about music. A fairy tale cyber/steampunk band combining both dance powerhouse vocal range, and their music spans the genres of trip-hop, electro-rock, and world music.
We here at Espeon University are very pleased to welcome Psych Corporation to the show this weekend. We hope you will attend their concert on Saturday afternoon. And now it's time for our next pop quiz.
Yes.
Can we have another volunteer, please? Oh,
Ooh, no.
okay, well there you go. Yellow shirt, come on.
Hello there. So what's your name?
Not interested?
Yeah. So, look on the screen there, Sparky, and tell me what that word means, if you can read.
Wow, we're supposed to like the attendees.
No. We're supposed to like the guests. We have to tolerate the attendees.
All right.
So, what's that word mean?
No clue.
Yeah, see what I said? No clue. Yeah. So, I'll give you a hint then. If you do this every day.
No idea.
Are you high? Okay, how about this one? It's the actual definition of sleepiness. sleep.
Never heard of it.
Once again, I return to my previous question of, are you high?
All right, so am I to assume you cannot tell me what this activity is used for?
Nope.
So you have no clue when you're supposed to be practicing this activity?
Haven't you guys been listening to me?
All right, so you're not going to be practicing this activity this weekend. Gotcha. Okay, so here's your diploma.
You know what, fine, we're a diploma.
Just like everybody else.
Yeah, really. She pays her money, she gets her paper, we're good.
And she'll be in debt to us for the next 30 years. Okay, on to our next subject, biology, specifically the anatomy of a cosplayer.
Now, I want you all to get those edgy thoughts out of your head right now. Because I know that you're thinking them, because he's thinking them too. And I can't very well give him detention.
No, we're cool.
Hey,
It's okay.
hey,
It's okay. Don't mind. Remember Cal? Okay. As we were saying, this is a cosplayer, and quite a fine specimen at that. Let's explain some things about cosplayers that you might find useful.
Sure, some of them are cute and friendly. And in fact, most of them are. They take a lot of time and they put a lot of effort into creating their costumes. Such as this one, we really throw ourselves into the spirit of the conventions. They also compete with said costumes in one of the many different events that are going on this weekend. And certainly these outfits are to be admired, but only look, don't touch. See what I mean? You deserve that.
If you're really concerned about the creation of the costume, just ask. Almost every cosplayer I know would be more than eager to talk about their costume. That's all it takes.
It's actually pretty easy.
It's a lot of fun.
Yes, it's
Yeah,
good.
So now, next up, don't be annoying with this. Friendly as they are, turbo glomping a cosplayer is the fastest way to get yourself ejected from a convention or thrown into a wall. It all depends on their mood. It really does. Like this little firecracker here. See, we love our Destiny to death, like she's so adorable, but the little ones are the ones that you absolutely have to fear, like a chihuahua.
Here, Destiny, here's your diploma. You did a great job.
Yeah. And once again, you stole my line.
I know.
Yeah, I know.
So-
You just gotta learn to read.
I know. So on to our next pop quiz. Can we have another volunteer, please? In the white right there. Come on.
Hello there.
Oh God, are you serious?
So what's your name?
Moon Mama,
And where are you from?
Pennsylvania.
And how long have you been going to conventions?
A long time.
So can I get your number?
It's dead.
Like your chances, Professor Milburn, like your chances. So, our next subject is phys ed, specifically overexertion. So tell me, what is that?
Conventions?
Okay. Why is it bad?
I didn't say it was bad.
How can it be prevented?
Not going to a convention?
Anything else?
Yeah, no, she's speaking words, but I don't understand what she's saying.
All right, so how do you tell if you're suffering from it?
Brain dead?
And what do you do in that case?
Caffeine, candy, ramen.
Okay, these are not good ideas, all right? These are terrible, terrible ideas. Professor Kitty and I here, we've been going for conventions way too long. And we know how long you can go playing DDR before you finally collapse, okay? And we've all been there. So we've all done our fair share of competitions, and we know what it feels like when you've finally overdone it.
Yes, the arrows call to you. They're very persuasive. Don't let them get to you. Just say no.
Yeah, like that works.
They'll be waiting for you when you've rested. But also, don't think it's the only way you can overexert yourself. All these other quizzes we've gone through, water, sleep, it's all necessary to prevent collapsing.
And you know, it's funny, you'd think we'd be beating this horse to death, but we wouldn't do it if it didn't happen way too many times.
Are you going to at least try to listen to us?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, now that you have a mediocre grasp of the concept, here's your diploma.
So now we'll move on to the next part of the equation, food.
I'm going to take a wild guess and say that you know what this all is, correct? Yes? Yeah, good. Okay, good.
And I'm sure I know the first food that comes to your mind. The great and powerful Pocky, right?
Yeah. See, it's all well and good, but it's a snack, people. It's a breadstick with chocolate on it and not a lot of chocolate. In fact, it's not really in that whole food pyramid thing. It's probably buried under the food pyramid.
Now, if you all turn to page 22 in your textbook, you will see a convenient listing of all food establishments in the area.
And these places are necessary for your continued survival. McDonald's won't kill you, despite what maybe 3.2 million lawsuits would try to say to the contrary. It is a form of sustenance. Not a great form, but a form nonetheless.
Yes, if you can find a nice salad bar or a place whose meat doesn't come out of a cardboard box,
Or taste like a cardboard box,
go there. So remember, kids, when walking through the land of milk and honey we call the dealer's room,
Ah, yes, that land of debt and destitution. Remember, you need money for more than plushies, wall scrolls, Blu-rays, and t-shirts. Don't forget to eat.
I think we've covered that fairly well.
All right, so we have one final subject that we would like to cover, and it is about our guests. So to illustrate this, I would like to bring up Miss Mary Elizabeth McGlynn to the stage.
Now, this is not Miss McGlynn's official introduction. That'll come in just a bit. We just wanted to highlight a few things about our guests.
Hi, guys.
So, as you can plainly see, the guest looks amazingly similar to any normal human. And there's a reason for that. They live, breathe, eat, sleep, and act very similarly, if not identically, to the majority of the human race, regardless of their position in the otaku caste system.
And as a normal, functioning member of our society, they are subject to the same desires and requirements that we are. Personal space, for example. Guests enjoy meeting their fans.
Yes.
That's why they come to these conventions.
Yes.
And they will happily sign autographs for you, but at the appropriate times.
Yes.
Not in the middle of the hallway. Trying to get an autograph in the middle of the hallway is the fastest way to accurately simulate Beltway gridlock.
On the other hand, speaking with them is perfectly acceptable.
Hello.
If you'd like to say hi and ask a question to a guest you see roaming around, approach them and say hi.
4.
Don't try and court them, because they may be on their way to an event, but don't be afraid to speak with guests. In most cases, they won't hurt you.
Bathroom.
Now, Miss McGlynn, we have one final special pop quiz for you.
I didn't study.
I came prepared.
I'm trying to get them to cut down. It's just not working.
Speaking of bathrooms, we shall end our ceremony in the men's room.
We would like to talk to you on the subject of .hack economics.
Now, this is a very simple one-question quiz on the subject of a certain classic series many of us have come to know and love,
Yes.
.hack sign.
Ah.
We ask that the audience remain silent for this question, and we cannot provide any other information than what this question asks. Are you ready?
No. Yes.
Excellent. Okay then, your question is, how many computers would Helba reasonably be able to control simultaneously?
4,305,032.5, depending on the upgrades.
That is an acceptable answer.
But we would have also accepted yes.
Yes.
See, school could be fun too, right?
Yes.
Okay, for the final section of our class today, we'd like to introduce our various guests for the weekend.
And you know what? It's funny because We've got one already right up here to go.
Yeah, how convenient.
I know, right? I love it when a plan comes together. A cunning plan. A plan so cunning you could pin a tail on it and call it a weasel.
What?
As I'm sure all of you know, this lady here has been involved in tactical and military strategy operations for a great deal of her career.
Yes.
Whether acting as a frontline ninja, Imperial Commander-in-Chief, or a squad leader for a high-tech public security division.
In stark contrast to those honorable positions, she was deeply involved in an underworld syndicate, and has even competed in the prestigious King of Iron Fist tournament.
Whether she's playing the part of a saber marionette, an evil queen bent on the destruction of the Moon Kingdom, or a divine rock, anyone who knows her just hopes she's singing the opening theme.
So please, welcome our Professor of Cyberbrain Neurology for the weekend, Miss Mary Elizabeth McGlynn.
I just want to thank the Academy. I studied really hard. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for having us. This is a really special weekend. It's very rare that we get the entire cast of my favorite show on the planet, Cowboy Bebop, together. We recorded it a year ago when we were all 20, and we're just so happy to have our first drinks legally here in Washington. Should be really fun and stuff. So yes, please come and say hi and come and talk to us. And we've got there's all kinds of signings and everything tonight that everybody's doing, and we've got a reading tomorrow of Toys in the Attic. Please come in costume. I'm looking at you, Melissa Fawn. Yeah, oh yeah, we're all costuming. We're costuming it up, yo! So anyway, thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here. Yay!
This is why I do this, ladies and gentlemen. Our next guest, let's take a look at the bio here. A former captain of the United States Army serving in the Judge Advocate General's Corps. I'm not sure it's safe to bring him up here.
Why is that? Is it because I'm active duty Air Force and it doesn't mean that I'm obligated to make jokes about the rest of the branches despite knowing full well that we are better than them? I mean, besides, any guy who voices Cao Ren and Dian Wei from Dynasty Warriors is positively awesome in my book.
With roles in Naruto Shippuden, Digimon, and Gundam.
And also, he lent his talents to Kingdom Hearts 2, Xenosaga 1, and Bleach.
And lest we forget, Jet Black from Cowboy Bebop, or Barrett from Final Fantasy VII Advent Children.
And I do know that there is one more mention that you want to make known.
Well, as a Star Trek fan, how can I refrain from mentioning his role in Star Trek Into Darkness?
I was actually referring to your love of the Hannah Montana movie.
You're really going to mention that in front of a room full of anime fans?
Yes.
Please welcome our professor of I Left the Army for This ology, Mr. Bo Billingsley.
Well, it's great to finally get a legitimate diploma. I want to tell you how happy I am to be here, and to see all of you, and be back with the gang. No, there's nothing better. And thank you so much for coming. We look forward to seeing you all at the signings and the panels, and have a ball. And enjoy the...
You know, Professor Milburn and I have been playing Dynasty Warriors for ages, and the fact that to hear that voice actually in person is just really fanboying right now, and I really shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, and for once, he can't kill steal off of me.
Go on you for the win. All right. Our next guest professor is one I'm really happy to see, as I've recently started playing our Telelico Quogo.
That's actually a game?
Oh, it is a game? Oh, look at that. I thought it was something in my alphabets this morning.
I'm impressed you were able to read that. So, you know what? That's just the tip of the iceberg. Sojiro from Kenshin, Sora from Oh My Goddess, Ray Beans from Eureka 7, Tia from Zatch Bell.
Just about everyone I know is a huge fan of at least one of her roles. Welch from Star Ocean.
You know, that's a good one, but how about Edward Wong Hal Pepelo Tiveruski IV from Cowboy Bebop? And I bet you didn't think we would be able to get that whole name up onto the up onto the screen.
We can't forget Neptune from Hyperdimension Neptunia. Do you think it's safe to mention the other things?
Other things?
You know, the other things.
Oh, you mean her ability to help people be popular? She'll help you be popular. And I want to be in America.
Yeah, those things. And if you aren't a big Broadway fan, she's the frickin' Tachikomas.
So, please welcome our professor of My Other Car is a Battle Tankology, Ms. Melissa Fon.
I didn't even study for this. It's fabulous, but I can't read it. Hi, you guys. I'm so happy to be here and to be with these 4 beautiful people. 3, 4. What? Oh, Wendy Lee decided to show up from Mount Vernon and find a vegan restaurant over You guys, I'm so excited to be here, honestly. I've never been to Washington, D.C. I'm so thrilled. I'm here with my husband and our little 5-year-old boy, and we're having a great time already, and it's only been a couple hours. But I'm so happy to meet you all. Please come to all of our signings and to all of our panels. We're going to talk about great stuff, and I just can't wait to get to know all of you and have an amazing weekend. And yes, Mary, I'm dressing up tomorrow. Yes! Hello! So excited to be here. Bye. They like me. They really like me.
Ah, the voices. You can just visualize the characters when they're talking to you. It's the best part of this. Next on our list is a professor who is, well, a legend. Her name has been associated with some of the most classic series ever produced. Fushigi Yugi, Cowboy Bebop, Robotech, Ninja Scroll, Magic Knight Rayearth,
Handmaid May, Maharomatic, X, Love Hina, Vampire Princess Miu, and the list goes on.
While she has certainly established herself in the classics, she is no stranger to the most cutting-edge anime as well. Take Natalia from Phase Zero, for example.
Kanata from Lucky Star.
Queen Serenity from the new Sailor Moon dub.
Yes, I know what you're all thinking, but professors, you've forgotten her most important role.
No, we haven't. We're pleased to present our professor of spreading excitement all over the world with Haruhi Suzumiya Brigadeology, and yes, I know I could have shortened it to SOS Brigadeology, but it wouldn't have been as funny, Miss Wendy Lee.
One of my favorite cities by far, and I'm now a total George Washington fangirl. I just had the best time at Mount Vernon. It was great. It's so lovely to be here again. The last time I was here was 2011, and it was a blast, and we're gonna bring it, and I can't wait to see you all. This is so far in our last signing, people brought up the best variety of stuff I think I've ever seen at a con. So thank you for loving some of the older titles and all the new stuff, and we can't wait to hang out with you guys. And thank you for reuniting my dear cast and friends from the Bebop. And watch out, we're gonna be a little loud and tipsy by probably about 11. Thank you so much.
Yet another easily recognizable face in our illustrious university.
Credits in Dragon Ball Z, Gunslinger Girl, Orin High School Host Club, Panty and Stocking, Shuffle,
as well as Borderlands 2, Witchblade, Kami-sama Kiss, and Black Cat.
This gentleman has certainly earned his stripes and everything, and I seriously mean it. I mean, it takes a true scholar to bring such Shakespearean-esque characters to life like red-haired Shanks from One Piece.
And lest we forget a character with unparalleled professional credentials, truly a pillar in our community at large.
Yes, we are, of course, talking about Kenji Harima from School Rumble.
Please welcome our professor of You Too Could Be a High School Delinquentology for the weekend, Mr. Brandon Potter.
My parents are going to be so proud. For once. I've only been here for a day and I'm already having a blast. It's great to meet these excellent people and to hang out with these folks who I've listened to for so very long. And it's a pleasure to meet all of you. I can't wait to see you all at the panels. Come to Inside the Voice Actors Studio tonight at 7 in Events B. And come to all the signings and stuff. I want to talk to you guys. I want to hang out. I want to chat. I want to do all the anime things. Okay, thank you.
Okay, our next professor has credits in, that list.
Yeah, more specifically, Digimon, Big O, The Absolute Value of X, Maharomatic, Saint Tail, Stelvia, Gurren Lagann, Wolf's Rain, God of Fury, Fully Koli, Kenshin, Naruto. This is a long list.
Some of his most...
Final Fantasy VII Advent, Children, Cowboy Bebop, Great Teacher Onizuka, Dynasty Warriors, Legend of Korra, Initial D, Chobits. I'm not done yet. Metal Gear Solid, Star of Etria, Ninja Gaiden.
Professor Milburn.
Mass Effect 2,
Professor
Clash of
Milburn.
Titans, Bulletstorm, Storm. Hey,
You broke it! You used up all the RAM in my computer!
Whoops. And you know what's the sad part? I was only halfway done.
Please welcome our professor of If My Name Isn't in the Credits, You're Not Looking Hard Enough-ology, Mr.
I dropped out of school on purpose. Only diploma I'll ever have in my life, so thank you for that. What a joy to be back here. I came here last year. I can't believe that you guys wanted me to come again, so I just slept over. I've been here the entire time. That chair over there, so if you smell something a little weird, that's just, something I left for you. Call it a present. So wonderful to be back and with my family and my new family and my family. I love you guys. Thank you for having me back. And I have a signing right after this at 5 o'clock, and we'll be here all weekend, so please don't be shy. Come up and say hello, but don't glom me, because I'll glom you back. And one last thing, when you screw it in, give it a hard manly twist. See you soon.
Our next professor is part of Espeon University's Sociology Department, a youth services library associate specializing in nerd topics and culture. She uses the knowledge she has picked up through her studies to conduct lectures at various schools, libraries, and museums, and at conventions as well.
In a world where those of us who embrace pop culture are, more often than not, outcasts, she has never been afraid to step forward and talk about it openly, helping people either understand the appeal or begin to walk down the path of the nerd themselves.
You know what? The old saying goes, those who can't do, those who can't teach. Well, you know what? She is capable of showing you how to do both. So we would like to bring up our professor of Burn All the Sparkly Vampires, ology, Miss Sarah Hodge Weatherby.
Wow, so I think I can go back home now and be like, so I don't actually need that master's degree in library science anymore. I am so honored to be here, guys. This is my first AnimeUSA. I'm going to be doing lots of panels this weekend. I have one tonight on the dark side of fandom. We are a wonderful group. There's some shadowy places, and I like to talk about how we can fix that. And also my history of fan fiction later this evening. I will be teaching some spooky, scary things tomorrow. If you like spooky Japanese mythology, or if you just like spooky American mythology, you'll like that one. As well as a Firefly panel, and then a steampunk and anime panel on Sunday. So I'm so happy to be here. I have to say, all the voice actors kind of took off, but this is a little weird for me because I was the head of guest relations for Anime Boston for 10 years, so I actually served most of the people that were in the front row here, and now I'm on the same stage as them. You have no idea what a mind blow that is. Thank you guys so much. I'm so happy to be here. I can't wait to see all of you guys this weekend.
Our last grouping of guests comprises our home economics department here at Espeon University.
Yes, our institution prides itself on our dedication to the creative side of our students' development. To this end, we have brought some of the most brilliant and accomplished minds in that field.
To begin with, we have a lady who has been studying historical costuming and Japanese culture for much of her career.
She has gained the ability to look at any outfit from a period of time and actually glean information on the society itself by the materials and methods they use to create it.
And if you don't believe that, just go to one of her panels this weekend and let her show you firsthand. Please welcome our professor of It's Never Just a Kimono-ology, Miss Cass McGann.
Professor Cass, because I've always wanted to be Professor Cass. Go home and hang it on my wall. Hi, everybody. This is my second year at AnimeUSA. I loved it so much last year. I begged and begged and begged so they would let me come back, and they let me come back. I'm doing some steampunk panels tonight, and I'm doing a Firefly panel tomorrow, some more steampunk stuff, and then possibly some steampunk stuff. I'm doing an ancient Japanese costuming panel as well. So if you're into any kind of costuming, I think I have you covered. Please come, hang out, ask questions, tell me who you are, tell me what you want to do, and we'll have a good time. Thanks so much.
Our final home economics professor this weekend is a 13-year-old veteran of the cosplay scene.
13-year veteran, not year old.
Whoops. Anyways, this person is a self-titled masochistic seamstress, and her academic specialties include crying into piles of fabric, attempting to outsparkle those vampires that Miss Sarah Hodge Weatherby hates so much.
Awards in craftsmanship, presentation, skit performance, and that one time she dyed a bunch of fabric with grass and onion skins thoroughly qualifies her to present and educate on all aspects and levels of cosplay.
Please welcome our professor of Is 450 Attack on Titan costumes too much-ology? Of course it's not. Our cosplay guest, Shikari's.
Okay. I'm a small person, but first and foremost, I'm a cosplayer, so let me take a selfie.
You knew this was going to happen.
I got this. Okay, everyone smile! Okay, yay! Okay, so we have some panels on cosplay. Cosplay in Japan coming up right after this. I'm ditching you guys for it. Then we also have a panel on, are you taking video of this? Okay, this is very strange, but yeah, come and learn to embellish things and make things very shiny. In fact, we've got one on embellishing fabric tomorrow, and it's very spooky because beating by hand is always terrifying to me personally. I'm also one of your masquerade judges, so if you don't mind ditching the Cowboy Bebop cast, let's go to the masquerade. All right, bye.
That about wraps up the roster of staff members we have here presently. However, we'd like to mention two other professors who will be joining us later in the weekend.
First, a gentleman who is quite an expert on a few areas of Japanese culture, steampunk and kabuki, Lord Ramirez.
And secondly, the voice of Luffy in One Piece, Urza in Fairy Tail, Riza Hawkeye in Full Metal Alchemist, and Gohan in Dragon Ball Z Kai, Miss Colleen Klinkenbeard.
So, now that we have covered all of our subjects for now,
I agree. Our students have many more classes to attend, and I think we should let them get to it. So have a great weekend, everyone.
Class dismissed. Yes, that
Cute.
was Napa.
Looks cute though.
I know, I'm just trying to like give us something.
Always came. Probably you have like 2 costumes.
Oh, Jesus.